Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, Sir, Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Ministers, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, dear children, good morning and Bula Vinaka. Honourable Speaker, Sir, I would like to wish all our children a happy Children's Day. I would also like to add that our children need to be protected, loved and cared, and not to be cursed, as earlier said in this House. Honourable Geringerin Tambua, child is a child. Just because they are government members' children, of opposition don't get the right to curse them. Honourable Speaker, asking for apology now won't help. They should think before uttering curse from their mouth. Honourable Speaker said, just look at the number of opposition members present here. They are asking for more seating, and on the other hand, they opt to travel to overseas. For them, it seems like overseas trip and per diem are more important compared to ordinary Fijians. For them, Honourable Speaker said, for them it seems like overseas trip and per diem are more important compared to ordinary Fijians. They opt to travel to overseas, whereby our members opt to stay behind because we care about Fiji. We are elected to be in Parliament and not to visit overseas, Honourable Members. Honourable Speaker said, Honourable Sakuru mentioned something about the security of this nation. Just like to remind him that Fiji is in the safe hands of our Honourable Prime Minister. And also the Fijian people and the Fijian people in overseas also remember the security situation in 1987 under the leadership of your leader. We all know about the situation then and the situation today. Honourable Speaker said, we are a nation and a small island state that has refined great things, making and ending ourselves a notable space in the modern world and in the Pacific where we thrive and flourish. Honourable Speaker, say our nation, Fiji, is home to one of the most enterprising cultures on earth. We have been bestowed with an environment that prints of oceans, forests, waterways, pristine coastlines, rivers and unique landscapes that have been entrusted to our stewardship by the generations gone by. With the 10 years of uninterrupted economic growth, we have set ourselves up a demanding platform to sustain growth, sustain our environment and route growth through responsible stewardship. Our economic strength has been won by the enterprise, innovation and determination of hard-working people. Honourable Speaker said, we are a small island developing state and like other states, we have our own challenges. Natural disasters, including tropical cyclones, floods and droughts often have an enormous impact in our economy and the well-being of our people. Honourable Speaker say amongst these water and water-related extreme events are important elements to look into if we are to build resilience to climate change and related events. Honourable Speaker say waterways and environment are central to the economic and social development of the country. The waterways and environment sector provide natural and built infrastructure that is central to supporting economic growth by sustaining crop production and productivity, tourism development and food security. It is evident that environmental management is critical to the support of sustainability of the benefits from nature supporting the government's economic growth. Honourable Speaker said the Ministry of Waterways and Environment recognizes that waterways and environment are intricately linked and it plays a critical part in our livelihoods. As such, it is very important we understand the connection between waterways and environment to economic development, social well-being and climate change. Honourable Speaker said the formulation of the Ministry of Waterways and Environment reflects the government's vision to manage our water resources and safeguard our environment through an integrated, pragmatic approach. To keep all Fijians safe from water-related disasters, the Ministry of Waterways and Environment implements multiple technical and engineering measures addressing drainage and flood protection, smart agriculture, irrigation solutions, waterway drainage, and river embankment and coastal management activities, all aimed at providing the enabling environment to stimulate further economic growth. Honourable Speaker said these programs are designed to support the government in the implementation of the 5-year and 20-year National Development Plan, NDP, and the National Adoption Plan, NAP, and the Green Growth Framework for Fiji, through recognizing the need to provide adequate drainage, irrigation, and coastal protection services, and doing so, reducing the vulnerability and the risk of climate change and related adversities. Honourable Speaker, waterways and environment are central in contributing to the achievements of all the NDP goals. The Ministry will soon be launching its Strategic Plan 2019 to 2024 with a vision of clean, healthy environment and sustainable waterways management for sustainable and resilient Fiji. Honourable Speaker, our vision of clean, healthy environment and waterways management for a sustainable and resilient Fiji reflects the need to act now to ensure a flourishing and livable and healthy environment, prosperous communities and protected waterways, ensuring economic prosperity through climate-resilient interventions. Our work will be shaped by the strategic objectives in the plan that are geared towards building resilience to waterways-related hazards and ensuring our environment is managed sustainably for now and future generations. This effect, we have carried out massive amount of work in recent years. Honourable Speaker, to highlight few, I would like to give an insight into different works and projects we have undertaken in 2018 and 2019, and 2019 and 2020 fiscal year. The works from start of last fiscal year 2018-2019 till date includes drainage, Central Division, which is 426.5 kilometers, Western Division 718.6 kilometers, and Northern Division 763.4 kilometers. Dredging, creek desilting, Singatoka River completed, Nakawandra Creek completed, watershed management, Namosi Dam 4 completed, riverbank protection, Vunivau village completed, Nandakuni village, the work has stopped due to the, we are not able to cart material, and also same in Wainawanga village. Savu village in Tailevu, work in progress, Waini Buambua, Wainandoi, work is in progress. Coastal protection works, Namoli village Lotoka, work is in progress. Lamini village Taviuni, work has completed. Nandrau village Tailevu, work has completed. Rukurukulevu, Nandroga, work is in progress. Namuna village and Tavuku district school, Kandavu, work is in progress. And Ravuni village, Tailevu, work is in progress. Honourable Speaker, apart from the above, the Ministry has been writing proposals to seek bilateral funding from department partners, development partners. Until date, we have been successful with the following: Korean Embassy, $200,000 for Vativa riverbank stabilization, the EU 500,000 euros scaling up drainage infrastructure in Suasua drainage area, Lambasa, agreement to be signed soon. Honourable Speaker, Ministry of Agriculture Backyard Gardening Initiative. Honourable Speaker, backyard gardening has a positive outcome in recognizing the value and potential of home gardens for enhancing food security and livelihoods and build local capacity to scale up and provide fresh and nutritious food. Backyard or home gardens have been an integral component of family farming and local food systems. Backyard gardening is an ancient and widespread practice all over the world and is referred to as mixed kitchen, farmyard, and compound or home garden. Honourable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture has developed a program to encourage urban and rural dwellers to undertake backyard gardening to meet their households' nutritional needs. This ensures that they cultivate food using safe practices such as organic farming systems. The emphasis of the program will be on kitchen garden, including utilization of small container system and fruit tree planting campaigns. Honourable Speaker, the Ministry has distributed to 90 households in Tavua and Lambasa backyard gardening package worth $65, which includes a guide for gardeners, potting bags, bags of garden soil and seeds for 4 crops and fruit trees. Each recipient are required to fill a gardener profile form to allow the Ministry of Agriculture staff to monitor the gardeners' activities and evaluate the impact of the program. I wish to further enlighten the House that Backyard Gardening Initiative of Ministry of Agriculture was launched earlier this year in Tavua by His Excellency our President, a platform that he is currently championing around the country. Honourable Speaker, for this financial year 2019-2020, the Ministry of Agriculture has allocated $300,000 through its Extension and Research Division to fund this activity. This funding will enable training and awareness and distribution of backyard gardening packages to 300 households throughout on our 4 geographical divisions. The backyard gardening initiative of the Ministry of Agriculture will not only enable us to curb non-communicable diseases in our local communities, but will more importantly ensure that we continue to improve the livelihood and well-being of all Fijians. Fruit tree orchards, Honourable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture is implementing the fruit tree orchard program which began last financial year. Orchards have played an important role in communities for many centuries, providing a focal point, a gathering place, and a place where people and the rest of nature successfully work together to create abundant harvests, providing fresh fruit long before the time of global trade. Once a tree is established, it can provide a large yield of fruit year after year for decades, requiring little human input. As a deep-rooted, long-lived perennial, the tree has time to adapt to local conditions and be more resilient. Honourable Speaker, as you all are aware, that fruits are an important contributor to improving the nutritional status of the general population. Fiji currently has one of the highest incidence of non-communicable disease in the world. As such, the inclusion of more local fruits in the daily diet of Fijians will help the health status of general population. Honourable Speaker, most of the local fruits consumed are harvested from the wild or backyards, as there are only few established orchards of local fruits. Fiji annually imports a wide range of fresh fruits that includes grapes, oranges, apples, pear, kiwi fruit, amounting to an average of 17.8 million, as well as 3.8 million for processed foods. Some of these imported fruits can be substituted with locally grown tropical fruit such as guava, mango, avocado, oranges, mandarin, pineapple, and other indigenous fruits. Honourable Speaker, the climate condition in Fiji provides for a conducive environment for tropical fruit cultivation for both indigenous and some of the exotic species, example dragon fruit, guava, mangosteen, etc. Currently, Singatoka, Lenga-Lenga, Senganga, and Nandrololo Research Station have field exemplars of introduced exotic species as well as indigenous collections. Fruits are seasonal with few established orchards. Currently, most of the fruits available in the local markets are dominated by wild and backyard fruit trees. Over the years, the demand for fruit trees, seedlings, have escalated as Fijians are becoming more health cautious and regard fruits as an important component of their diets. Honourable Speaker, the latest update on the program are 8 orchards for guava have been established, comprising of 750 plants in an area of 1.2 hectare. Orchards are regularly monitored by locality extension officers. One training on guava cultivation organized and attended by 10 research and extension staff on 1909-2019. 14 avocado orchards with 50 seedlings each have been established in the Western Division. 2 breadfruit orchards established with 50 seedlings in each orchard in Ba. 300 seedlings planted at a farm in Kulukulu, Singatoka. Honourable Speaker, the plan for 2019 and 2020, 6 new guava orchards will be established before December 2019 and 10 more before July 2020. 5 avocado orchards will be established before December 2019 and 10 new avocado orchards will be established before July 2020. 5 new dragon fruit orchards will be established before March 2020. 5 new breadfruit orchards will be established before July 2020. 3 citrus orchards will be established before July 2020. 1 mango orchard will be established before July 2020. Honourable Speaker, I thank you and remain grateful for the support rendered by His Excellency and the President of the Republic of Fiji and in this House. Thank you, Vinaka Vaklevich.